in case you want to see this, I'll start recording the demo so that I'll send you a link to it. I'll send it up to YouTube, and then you guys can replay it whenever you want.
Perfect.
Okay. So basically, we just logged into Inventory Pro, and the default screen when you log in is generally our item master list. And you can see that our sample data is actually is relatively applicable to you guys because we have some medications in here. I don't know that you guys use Band-Aids at all, but you know, we have some items in here that are, and if you, hopefully the icons, you know, help you get through the system. You can store pictures of your items in here, which can help in the field if somebody's not quite sure if they have the right item or not. They can click on the picture and see it. You can click on the attributes of an item and come in and these are all the different fields for the item. And we talked about serial numbers. This screen, there's so many different attributes for the items that what we did was portion or almost like make the screen tabular. So if you click on this, it brings back all of the fields that are in the general part of the item ID, and then if you click on one of these other bolded fields, so if you check this off, you'll use serial lot numbers for the item. And if you want the serial number to be unique, you check this off. That means obviously that, you know, no two 02050 items can have the exact same serial number. We just don't allow it. So it's one way of, if you have unique serial numbers, not making a mistake and receiving the same serial number twice.
Yes, that's
there is the ability to auto-assign serial numbers too. And that would come into play more if you were like doing work orders and making kits, assemblies. So if you took, you know, if one of your tests had 3 or 4 different items in it, and you made 10 of them, and you wanted to assign a unique serial number to each one of the 10, you would come in here and check this off. And then as you made the kits, they'd automatically get new serial numbers that you can print off and put on each kit, and then track the kits, consume them by serial number. So there's a whole bunch, you know, if you want to keep track of pricing for your items, there's a whole bunch of fields in here. If you have different prices for different customers based on like how much they consume, there's price levels in here.
Okay.
And that's what, and then there's case prices. You know, if you're buying things or selling things by the case. Cost is what you buy it at, and price is what you sell it for, okay? And these are default numbers when you create a purchase order or a shipping order. When you actually receive the item, you can, you know, if on the purchase order you put $1.25, but it actually costs you $1.24, at receiving time you can go in and edit that. And the same thing when you sell it, it'll stick $1.25 on the default shipping order, but if you need to raise the price or lower the price for some reason, you can just edit over it. These are just like the template values.
So if I modify the price, it will only apply it to the quantity I'm receiving at the moment, right?
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Correct. All right, so that's the basic, let me go back to the item master screen. The other thing is over here on the the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the available in stock, on order, on hold, and committed quantities. Those are across all warehouses. You can see you have the ability to have multiple warehouses up here.
Okay.
Okay. So if you had, I don't know, a lot of places only have one warehouse, but you could have a central warehouse and then 3 or 4 different distribution warehouses, or you could use, there's a lot of different ways to set things up. You could have each one of your customers almost be a warehouse as well, if you were to get stuff.
Wait. We actually have a main warehouse, but the warehouse is not on site with the lab, so the lab will be considered another warehouse. So
okay, there you go.
I divide the consumables and the reagents. So
Right. Okay. 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 When you click on the in-stock value, it'll show you this one is all in one warehouse and all in one location. Let me go back. See if these are in different. They're all in the same.
I understand what
here we go.
Multiple warehouse. Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay, so here's some stuff that's supplied by different people on different order numbers. So you'll get, the other thing that you'll see in the system that's pretty important is we have an audit trail report. And this basically is going to show every receipt, issue, and locate and move of your inventory from the day you start until the day you stop using Inventory Pro. So it's literally a transaction log of everything that happens. We capture who did it, basically on what purchase order or shipping order.
Work order, repair order, whatever.
Right. There's reason codes, and then the date. I would think we'd have the time there too. I'm not. We could expand that field.
I think we only display the date. I believe the time is shown in the description of transaction area, the exact time.
Oh yeah.
So to make the report a little bit cleaner, I dropped a little bit of extra data because it's already like 11 or 12 columns.
Right. So the time is actually in this. What Zach is saying is the time is in this field.
Okay. It's more specific to the transaction.
Okay. So if you have a problem with, a cycle count or something like that, why is my inventory off? You can go back through. You can put filters in here. Say we wanted to search for, looks like we did, give me something that's got a few entries in here. Let's search for this. Huh. Not quite sure why that didn't give me multiple. Care to take showing one page, one of 18 records.
It shows you the total number of records aside from what you searched.
All right. There's still a problem here, though, right, Zach?
Remove the search and hit go. So just delete that, yeah. There might be a space in one of the records, so it might not be.
Oh no, I was wrong. These are different. I thought this was
the same. Oh yeah,
those
are different numbers.
These are different numbers.
Yeah, to me it looks the same on through GoToMeeting. It's a little aliased.
Yeah, so sorry. Let me do this one. This one's got multiple.
Sometimes as well, if there's a leading or trailing space or something, there are trim operations run, but it's not always perfect.
So, okay. So, if you want to receive inventory, a lot of times we do the receiving off of purchase orders, but you can direct receive inventory without using a purchase order or a shipping order.
Okay.
So, well, you wouldn't receive using a shipping order, but you receive with a purchase order you'd issue out using a so now it forced me to pick a warehouse that I'm going to receive into. And I'm just going to grab this item ID, and I'll receive 3 of them. Now I happen to grab an item that has unique serial numbers, and they're also auto-assigned. So you can see where it generated the serial numbers for us. It's split, because I said I was going to receive 3 of them. It split it into 3 lines, and then it automatically generated serial numbers for each. Okay, so I happened to grab a serialized item that had auto generation. All right.
Nice.
And then we just click receive, and they'll get received. These are iPod B60s, so I remember. And then if you want to print labels, you just click on the label button. And here are your barcode labels. Now, I forget what size these labels are. These are like 3 by 5. What are they?
2 by 3?
4 by 4.
That's not 4 by 4.
So, anyways, guys, the point is that we customize the label to be what you want it to be.
Okay.
So if you just want, like a barcoded item ID from here up, we can make a label that just has that information on it.
And we also customize it based on the printer or label stock that you're using as well. So sometimes it might be 2 by 1, 2 by 2, 2 by 3, whatever size we can accommodate.
Yeah, we have a variety of labels of sizes, so we can manage to get the best one for it.
Okay. So if we go back to the item master list and look at that iPod B60, see how we just added 3?
Yes.
Okay. So this is kind of the audit trail showing, that the 3 that we just received are in the Acme manufacturing warehouse. I didn't change the location. They went to a default finished goods location. So the warehouses, let's see if I can do this. Each warehouse has warehouse locations. So you can come in and add whatever, these are normal like bay locations in a warehouse.
Okay.
So if you want to add a new location, you just, whatever the location is. Now I don't know how fancy your warehouses are, but we have the ability to optimize the picking. So if you had really big orders and a lot of different items, you can put a pick path on your items, so it like organizes your warehouse for you, so that when you're picking, you don't have to jump from one end of the warehouse to the other. It goes sequentially through your warehouse, and
through your locations in your warehouse.
Right. So it tries to make life faster and smoother for the warehouse person.
It really does.
Okay, so here's the location I just added. And you can print location labels. So if you want to put a bin label or a rack label.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's nice.
So under utilities, we have this import-export. What you can do is export your item master list as a template. See how it's generating this Excel spreadsheet down here? If I open this up, basically it's just exported to Excel all of the inventory in the warehouse. and it was actually that one warehouse. And this is a utility that's really helpful if you need to make global changes, or you want to import, like, say you opened up a new warehouse in a different, I don't know, western side of the state. You could create a warehouse. You could come in here and change this to be Acme West. Oh, Ben. Sorry, I'm not very smooth in Excel. So now I basically just made an Acme West.
Okay, I see.
And I'm going to save this to my desktop. I don't know. I'm just going to create a unique file name. Then if I jump back to Inventory Pro,
What's up?
sorry, and then choose the file, and import it. Oops. Not quite sure what I did there.
It might not have permissions on the test site to do that. I'll have to take a look at it.
No, that's okay. I know what you mean. I do that with QuickBooks and that, so I know work around exporting and importing.
Yeah, what it should have done was created an Acme West warehouse and then loaded it up with the inventory. Not quite sure what the problem is there. So let me not drag this on too long. You can create, there's purchase orders in here. And if I look at a purchase order, there's line items on the purchase order. So if you want to add a new line, or is this one must be closed or something. Where's the status? I'm just going to show you the purchase order. All the documents come up as PDF files, so they'll print any plain paper DeskJet or LaserJet you have. You can
and the
put
logo
your logo
can be, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. The logo is your logo, and all of the order from and ship to is populated by at records in your database.
Okay.
So if we wanted to make a new PO, we would just come in, create a purchase order. There's only a couple. The required fields are over here in this column with the checkbox. You can pick the supplier.
I have a question. Do you have an interface with QuickBooks?
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. And what happens is, the way it works is, and correct me when I step out of bounds here, guys, Ben and Zach. We like Inventory Pro to drive it a little bit. So if you create a purchase order in Inventory Pro, it shows up in QuickBooks as a purchase order. And if you create a shipping order, you create it in Inventory Pro again, and it shows up in QuickBooks as a sales order or a shipping order in QuickBooks. And the reason for doing that is so that Inventory Pro knows what is on order and what is committed to ship out, and then it gets the par levels right. Let me go back. So I jump over here. We have this reorder point. So we have, for this item ID, this iPod, in this Acme Manufacturing Warehouse, actually the field's over here, we don't really have any good data set in here, do we?
Don't worry.
Not really.
I use the same setup for my inventory, so I know the reordering point, and I know.
Right. So it would generally be something like this, you know. reorder at 6, order in quantity of, well, let's do 2 for this one, and fill to 12. Okay. And then, how do I want to do this? There's a report, right, Zach?
There are reports and there are utilities that we have. The reports just show you what you need to order so that you can plan the purchase orders yourself. We also have utilities that automatically generate the purchase orders.
Yes.
We have utilities that you can run manually or have run nightly at 12 o'clock or something if you want that process to be automatic.
Yeah, here's the items to order report. So it's going out there and showing you, I forget which part I modified. Let's see, where's the fill to of 12? Yeah, here was probably this one. So rather than generating a purchase order automatically, you can run a report and it goes through and shows you what's in stock and on order, on hold, committed. Committed is what you have on a shipping order to go out to a customer.
Or a work order as well.
Yeah, on hold we use for like quality defects. So if you get something that needs to be quarantined, you're not sure if it's any good or not, we generally put it, we use on hold as a way to quarantine items. And I just clicked on this field. Let me click. You can sort in Inventory Pro by these columns by clicking on the column.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
And the reorder quantity is on the far right as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then this unit cost is coming out of the item master record where I showed you the cost before. All the rest of these fields are self-explanatory. There is under utilities. Is that where it is, Zach? The PO reorder utility?
I think it's under here, and it's also directly under the orders
right.
area.
So if I did a create purchase orders for restocking, and I don't fill out any of these filters, basically from that report we did before, we've generated how many POs did I just create?
This will be one PO because it's just going to one supplier. And also you have this is done by warehouse, so you'll select the warehouse to reorder for. So each warehouse here would probably have different items as well.
So I took the warehouse filter off, and it's going to generate more purchase orders. It doesn't show like a temp number over here. Some way to, that would be a decent enhancement.
I think it does it when you hit the create orders button. It will show you all the references, but until then it doesn't generate the purchase order numbers until you've actually clicked the create button and selected what you'd like to create and what you wouldn't like to create.
Yeah, because it has to increment that number. So if it just suggested it and then you canceled out, you'd have a big gap in your PO numbers.
Right. Or maybe we could show somewhere here where one order starts and another order stops.
Yes, it should be grouped a little differently there because it should be grouped by supplier. So you'll see that there's that gap in suppliers.
Right. Okay. So anyways, before I go, have you guys got any, am I missing any core functionality that, I haven't heard anything that you guys asked for that we don't do?
No, we're pretty sure every answer has been answered, every question has been answered with this demo. What we basically will need is like a quote, because we did some searching, and this is the best program that we have yet seen, and it's basically meeting all our demands. So.
Right. I do have a question in terms of hardware for the management. Do we need like a server to set this up in? Do you guys have like a cloud solution?
Yeah, both ways. I can quote it both ways. You guys could purchase licenses and run it on your server. or we can host it for you, and then you just pay like a monthly hosting fee. So if you do it through us with the monthly hosting fee, there's less upfront cost. And there's also, you don't have to worry about setting it up or managing it or backing it up. We do all that for you. But if for control reasons or whatever, you want to host it yourself, you know, I can quote it both ways. Let me just jump over to, we have a pricing page on here.
If it were through your hosting, we'd only have access to the mobile version and the web version, right?
Well, you have access to both versions. It's just which URL you go to. So in this case, I'm using this URL to get to the main system. To get to the mobile piece, all you do to the URL is you add /mobile, and it takes you to a different login that works better on tablets.
Okay, so it's not exactly a mobile app. It's more of a mobile web page that's been adapted to the mobile device's resolution.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a mobile web app, so to speak. So it does utilize touch functionality and such, but it's not full. It's not a full-on application.
No, I get it. I don't mind it at all. In fact, I prefer it like that.
Well, we did it like that just so that you can use both iOS or Android, and similarly, you can also use Windows Phone without having to worry about compatibility and reprogramming 3 different, totally different applications.
No, I agree. I think it's a great. In fact, the whole idea of having an app is great, but I think that if it's a web-based system, it's still a lot. There's still a lot more you can do with it, so I prefer it like this.
The other thing to keep in mind, even though this it does load a database locally on the device, so if they get out of cell coverage, it'll actually batch up, queue up the transactions. It has a beacon kind of thing that says, am I online or am I offline? And if it's offline, you can keep working, and as soon as you get back in the cell coverage or Wi-Fi coverage, the transactions go up to the server. So you can work offline with this app.
Excellent.
And it's, I don't know if you saw this or not, and I should turn it over to Zach if you really want a good demo, because he's better at it than I am. But all you have to do is add, like I said, all you have to do is add /mobile to the URL, and boom, you're in. Okay. It's not like there's an extra fee for it on the monthly hosting. You get both.
Okay.
Okay. So going back to our pricing page, there's 3 options really. Monthly hosted by CISS, and then the other one is where you guys buy it and host it on your server, and that's where this $1,000 per concurrent user, that's where the capital investment comes in. Whereas the other way is you just pay us $80 a month. And they're concurrent users. So say you need like 4 or 5 concurrent users. You could have 100 users created in the software, just 4 of them logged in at the same time. So if you had 4, when the 5th person tries to log in, it's going to say, you've exceeded your user limit, either buy a new user or wait for someone else to log off and then log back on.
Okay.
Okay. There is a third option that we rarely do, and that's where you guys buy it, but we host it for you. It doesn't happen very often, but it's a possibility.
Okay, I see.
The other thing we can do is if we do the cloud option for you, we can give you access to the SQL database. So if you wanted to run ad hoc reports or backups or I don't know what, it's it's your data. We're not going to keep you from accessing your data. So we can give you a punch a hole in our firewall and give you access to the data. And if you host it yourself, it's just a regular SQL database. You know, it's a regular Microsoft SQL Server. And if you don't have SQL Server licenses, it'll run on SQL Express.
Okay.
We're actually running a QuickBook interface for a client that is hosting here. That's Marshall.
Yeah.
We basically punch
Yeah,
a hole
right.
in the firewall, and he runs his QuickBook interface in his office.
Right. So you don't have to buy it in order to have the QuickBooks interface. You know,
Okay.
yeah. The QuickBooks interface is also real time. So that it's not like, again, you know, when you create a purchase order in Inventory Pro, it'll show up within a minute or so in QuickBooks.
Perfect. Okay. You need something? Well, guys, this is great. For me to present it to the president of the company, I will need obviously a formal quote. We will prefer both options, 1 and 2, so we can decide whether he wants to implement it in our servers, or we can do a cloud-based option. And
sure.
He will take it from there, because we really want this. So it's just for him to approve it, and we can start.
How many users should I make the quote for?
I think 3 users will be enough.
You can always add more. You know, it's not like we're locking you in. You know, you can add more at any time. So as you grow, you know, you can add more users.
I think 3 users will be fine.
Great.
Not very much people work with this here in the company, so that will be the president, myself, and the logistics guy. So that will be 3. We will be fine.
Great, great. You know, I don't want to. We could drone on for days about the software. It's pretty big, so I don't want to. If we've covered
okay.
it, that.
I know when we started, we will learn the hard way, so that's okay. We're pretty familiar with it.
I can email you a user manual as well.
Okay, that will be perfect for me to have it just for records' sake.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.